always, when you're working with clients, do you always start with breathing exercises?
Again, that's a kind of a tricky question, because traditionally most speech and language therapists who work with voice will start with breathing. It's like where most voice teachers will start. It's even where most singing teachers will start. And in a way I do, but not in the traditional way. So very often the focus is on diaphragmatic breathing and what is known as breath support. So making sure there's enough air in the lungs and that it kind of goes lower enough in the body so it's not too shallow breathing. They're the most familiar and common concepts of approaching voice work. For me, I think of it more as encouraging the better voice with more breath by opening the laryngeal space. So it's really about thinking about here, where quite commonly traditional voice teachers have tried to get people not to focus on their throat area, because, you know, as if it will cause tension. Yeah. But for me, understanding what's happening there is absolutely crucial, because if I take a very good diaphragmatic breath and I support it and I felt that it's gone quite deep, and but then something happens at my larynx and there's some tension comes in and it constricts, all that air that is now inside of me still can't make its way into my voice. Right. You know, the voice gets distorted if the tension and the narrowing and the constriction is around the throat. So I very much like to work on targeting that. I think over the years I found ways that have really sped things up. You know, I used to go places where people would say to me, well, I do 6 sessions on breathing and then I start. And I'm thinking, well, that's 6 sessions that maybe the client didn't need. And so it's always about making it more efficient for the client, less time consuming. And also for me as well, the busier we all get, we want things that work. And if they work quickly, and you can take away the stuff that doesn't work. So that's really how I approached the breath work, was to work more with releasing the tension that's there. That was kind of part of my training. I was lucky enough to have a mentor that kind of steered me down that path, and I never looked back. And so for me, releasing the tension and opening the space allows the breath to go in, and that naturalizes the breath pattern, much rather than taking a really big breath, which sometimes can be very artificial too. And it's not about how much you take in, it's the way the breath comes out actually that's really important for voice.
Okay.